Executives from Premier League clubs have been meeting in London today to discuss a wide range of issues, and it appears the clubs have agreed how the Premier League will approach the Winter World Cup in Qatar next year. Live now to our reporter Rob Dorset in central London. Good afternoon, Rob. What has then come out of this meeting?
Well, Dharmesh, we're still waiting for details to be confirmed by the Premier League. The way this works is that the executives of all 20 Premier League clubs come and meet. They've had a lengthy meeting here today that lasted about 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, where they discussed an awful lot. But my understanding is there wasn't an awful lot that was decided. There weren't any big key votes that took place today, except on the issue of the calendar for next season. And the reason that that is such a big issue is because for the first time ever, we're having a Winter World Cup, a World Cup that will interrupt the domestic football season in England and Scotland, of course, and Wales and Northern Ireland, and the rest of the world and the rest of the Northern Hemisphere, right in the middle of a key time for them. And my understanding is, and as I say, we wait for details from the Premier League to be put forward, that the final round of Premier League matches will be on the 12th and the 13th of November. The players will then have a week to be away with their international teams before they then start the World Cup. The World Cup will finish on the 18th of December, and then the Premier League will resume again on Boxing Day. That was voted on today, and it was agreed by everybody inside the meeting. And we heard from Christian Purslow, who we spoke to as he left the meeting, the Aston Villa chief executive. And have a listen to what he had to say to us, because it's pretty clear that whilst he's voted in favour of this, as everybody else has, they've accepted this new schedule, this new calendar, the Aston Villa chief executive is far from happy about it.
I think scarcity makes things very valuable, and every 4 years feels about right to me. Much more interested in the fact that next season, when we play in an equally crazy idea, which is a Winter World Cup, we won't see any Premier League football at the peak of our season between November and December, which is also something that people are going to have to get used to. But these decisions that get taken a long time ago, they bite quite soon. Next season, we'll all see that. I always have concerns about player welfare, but I have more concerns for our fans missing Premier League football for 5 weeks in the winter, which is our great national tradition and our great national heritage.
Powerful words from the Aston Villa chief executive there. And look, I spoke to one or two other people that were inside the meeting, and I think there are concerns as well concerning that Qatar World Cup about what happens to the Premier League players and the Championship players as well who don't go to the World Cup. They've got 5 weeks without football. Are they given some time off on holiday to recover, or do they continue going to the clubs and continue their training pattern? It's never happened before, this Winter World Cup, and it's leading to an awful lot of disruption, shall we say, that the Premier League are trying to have to deal with. You heard Christian Purslow there talking about the possibility of a biennial World Cup as well. He's totally against that idea. But one of the key issues for Premier League owners and executives is concerning the future of the European Super League. We know that was kicked into touch, don't we, earlier on this year in very controversial circumstances. That was discussed again further in this meeting here. The Premier League clubs want to make sure there is an owner's charter that means those teams, those clubs or any other clubs can't break away and threaten to break away from the Premier League again in the future. Now, that 9-point charter is still some way from being agreed. One person inside that meeting said to me today that they don't need a piece of paper to make sure that goes away. The public opinion and the reaction of football supporters means that he doesn't think any of the football clubs that were trying to break away back then could try and do so again. But no progress, no vote, no absolute decision on that 9-point owners' charter, which has to come in for the Premier League at some point. So an interesting meeting, an awful lot of ground covered, but certainly the calendar for next season and involving the Winter World Cup in Qatar, that'll be the headline, I think, that comes out of it today.